There we go. Had to unmute myself. Struggle streaming already. Peace. Kofa. G.R.O.W.T.H podcast. Wake your ugly ass up. Happy Sunday evening. It is 9 o'clock, April 16th, 2023. I appreciate everybody being here. Again, my name is Kofa. K-O-F-A. Kofa rhymes with sofa. Not coffee, not kufu, not Kofi, or any variation thereof. This is G.R.O.W.T.H podcast. Growth stands for gentlemen reaching our wealth through healing. Again, I appreciate everybody checking in. For those of y'all that saw the thumbnail, like I said last week, I think it was, a couple of days ago, I was going to give you a part 2 of the Freaknik, and we were going to get a little bit deeper into it. Since then, some other things have come out, but first and foremost, as you come in, handle house business, housekeeping, all that. Y'all know how it go. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you go follow some of these other YouTubers that are going to be in the chat, and everybody just engage. I like to engage with the chat. I like to have conversations. I like to go back and forth. I don't need an echo chamber. We can agree to disagree, but we can disagree without being disagreeable. We don't have to be disrespectful. We can just have a conversation. I talk shit, same as everybody else. So please don't get offended by the things that I say, because trust me, I can back them up. I'm very cognizant of what I'm talking about and the things I like to present and what I present this channel for. I'm here, again, men-centric channel, to give men a positive fuck it, give brothers a platform to give their points of view on things. Of course, the ladies are welcome. Again, as you can see, I am a black man, so I'm going to be giving my perspective from a black male point of view. It's not going to just be, this tongue-in-cheek and POC, and I really don't give a damn about all that. I'm here to have a conversation, keep it real, and try to provide that healing for a lot of brothers out there and give them a safe place that this platform was designed for. So again, before we even get started tonight, first and foremost, shout out to my New York Knicks. They're 1-0 in the playoffs right now. Second of all, shout out to my Los Angeles Lakers. Man down. Mama, there goes that man. We are also 1-0 in the playoffs right now. Those are my two favorite teams. I know people always ask me, how the hell you like the Knicks and the Lakers? I got a team in the East. I got a team in the West. I ain't going nowhere. I've been there through thick, thin, missed playoffs, sorry as hell, trades, injuries. It's been like that since I was about 12 or 13. I'm not going nowhere. So shout out to both of my partners. Y'all keep on rocking. I need to see us in the second round and keep on making strides. Peace. What's going on, Broken Traditions? Peace, brother. Really appreciate you earlier. For those that may be coming in, make sure you follow Broken Traditions if you haven't already. This is a solid brother. We've been helping each other out. He's been helping me more than I've probably been helping him. as far as this YouTube thing is concerned, but he is a solid brother. He has a lot of good content on his channel as well. Peace to you, JT. I appreciate you chiming in, stopping in, brother. Don't be afraid to hop in and comment in the chat again. And let me go ahead and do this now. I'm going to copy this link. And hold on, I thought I had brought up the live. Give me one quick second. Get back to where I was before on my channel. I am going to drop it here. Make sure it come up. So this is the link to the interview room. If you want to cam up, stick your head in the door, as the old folks say. Just say, hey, we can have this conversation, and add on to it. Give me 1 second. Got one more screen to bring up. If y'all ever see me looking over this way, obvious, y'all know how YouTube work. I'm looking at another screen, but I'm bringing up my actual channel. I kind of like to watch and engage with the software I'm using and YouTube as well, because sometimes one gives a little lag and I can go see the other one. So give me one quick second. How are y'all doing? Drop a one in the chat if y'all can hear me clearly. If y'all had a good weekend. How was y'all weekend? I know I tried to, and also, matter of fact, if you prefer me going on at 6 on Sundays, drop a 6 in the chat. If you prefer me going on at 9, I'm trying to go on at 9 now, because again, I'm making this grown folk centric, male centric content. I know people got kids, so by now the kids should be bathed and fed and safe and in the bed already. Give you some time to come in here and chop it up like grown folks do. Again, as soon as I bring this myself up on screen, again, as I said before, I got a little bit of lag. Struggle streaming already. Let me check out some of this. What's going on? Broken Tradition, I know you did, bro. You got it in this weekend, man. You a bad mofo.
Hand down, man down. Mama, there goes that man.
Peace, JC. Bro, I seen you posting, man. You had some good news, man. What's the good news? Drop it in the chat, bro, so we can give you a congratulations, man. I'm not fully sure it was, but it seemed like you got some good news. You're making a big stride somewhere. So any type of good news, man, anything y'all did special this weekend, drop it in the chat. Again, I like to talk as men. Of course, I kind of got, suited and booted a little bit. Just like to clean up a little bit. As I talked about a couple weeks ago with the hood rat repellent. But yeah, y'all do me that favor. I appreciate it, Broken Traditions, that the stream is going smooth. So y'all drop a 6 in the chat if you prefer me at 6 on Sundays. A 9. I know I haven't gauged all the algorithm, but I do want y'all feedback, and that way I can, make adjustments as needed. Broken Traditions. Lex said 9. Shout out to Mama Lex. Shout out to Mama Lex. I appreciate that, Lex. Again, I do try to take in consideration that people do have lives. Tell y'all a quick story before we get into this Freaknik thing. It's funny I'm mentioning this story, but back in the day, my family is real religious. So my mother's an evangelist. Go figure, all the cussing I'm doing. But anyway, my mother's an evangelist. So we would be in church a lot. And the pastor, it was a new pastor that came, and he used to let us out kind of early compared to most black churches. And some of the old heads in the church would get mad. What's going on, Mona D? I see you, sis. And the old heads would get mad that pastor was letting us out so early. So, the rumbling started, word got back to him. So one day we in church, and the pastor sat up there, and he was like, hey, y'all go to work Monday through Friday. By the time you come home, you got enough time to feed your kids, give them a bath, get them in the bed. Then Saturdays, what are you doing? You're out with the family, or you're at the kids' games all day. here, there, taking them this. Sometimes they spend the night over their friend's house, or their friends are over there at your house. The kids are playing. Then Sunday, I'm supposed to keep you in church all day, just hooping and hollering. I'm not going to do it. You work Monday through Friday. You're doing everything on a Saturday, and then you're in church all day on Sunday. When do you have time to spend with your family? And the church got quiet. I'll never forget that. So I'm taking into consideration why I go on a little bit later on night, because people do work. People are making these commutes. People do have children. People do have lives. It's not all about Kofa. I'm not one of those channels. So I'm get this out the way. Y'all can see it clearly on the screen. Y'all see the Cash App. Y'all see the PayPal. I'm not monetized yet. I got a couple hundred more, like 150 something more subscribers before I hit 1,000. I think I may not even be scratching 2,000 watch hours. That's why I'm trying to pump out this content a little bit more. Shout out to Broken Traditions again. Oh, jughead bastard. That motherfucker issued a challenge talking about who wants to see Kofa go live every day in May. So of course, some of y'all same people in the chat raised your damn hand. Thanks, Broken Traditions. So now I got to live up to the challenge, and I got to figure out how I'm gonna go live every day in May. So y'all are gonna get the content. I'm promise you I'm gonna pull it off. It may not be live for long. I may give you 15 minutes here, 30 minutes there, but I will go live every day in May. Y'all heard it here. Thanks to Broken Traditions. So everybody put a middle finger emoji up in the chat for Broken Traditions, because it was his goddamn idea. And of course he's laughing. And look at JC, second in that shit. Boy, fuck both of y'all, man. Y'all in cahoots, man.
There is powerful niggardry at work here.
But it's all right. We're going to go ahead and get to cooking. Y'all excuse me. That weather change fucked me up last week. I'm still shaking it off. But we're going to go ahead and get to cooking on this Freaknik. So Broken Tradition was on with me earlier this week, last week, when we were talking about it. He was like, man, you know what people are leaving out is a lot of men within this Me Too movement thing, because a lot of those pictures are going to come out, and it's not just about the women. A lot of these guys may be managers and things like that, getting ready to get close to retirement on their jobs. It can screw a lot of them too. And I was like, well, damn, I didn't even think of that. So shout out to Broken Traditions again.
Hand down, man down. Mama, there goes that man.
So he brought up a very good point. Lo and behold, a couple days later, marclamonthill kind of made the same comments, but I took issue with his comments, and you'll see why, and I'll break that down. So we're aware that it was brothers out there grabbing asses, taking, photos and stuff. If y'all haven't seen the thumbnail, let me bring that up real quick. So y'all can see the thumbnail. Y'all can see marclamont.hill's words. I'm gonna play it for you in a second. But notice how I got, sis was, she's a queen. That's what we tend to get when we got loose women like that. I believe this brother got fired. Something else Broken Traditions brought to my attention. And of course, the stereotypical stuff we hear all the time: toxic, 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 toxic. And what's the excuse? I was young. So everybody's sitting there, the guys and the women are sitting there with a smile on their face. Everybody's cool with it. But now this narrative is getting ready to start with the whole Me Too thing. And I'm getting ready to prove my point to you, because it's already making its rounds on TikTok. I'm going to go ahead and play this first video for you.
But there are people that will, right. So you should dress appropriately.
See, what a lot of you guys are going to find out in this Freaknik documentary is that a lot of your fathers are sexual predators, rapists, and assaulters and otherwise. No matter what somebody has on, you should be able to control yourself. And there's this narrative that if women dress provocatively, that you are entitled to their bodies. And that's not true. You need to teach your raggedy ass son some self-control. And no matter what anyone has on, you should be able to show them some form of respect to keep your fucking hands to yourself. Or you could get popped. Or you could go to jail. It's up to you. Pray on it.
And you know what? Sis isn't wrong, but neither was the brother. He said, I wouldn't do it, but there are guys that will. So maybe you should dress appropriately. We all know the difference between appropriate dress and loose dress. It's the same thing I tell my daughters. Look, I'm not saying that you can't wear what you want, but when you wear certain things, you almost have to expect certain things from some men. It's not everybody. But just like sis said, maybe you need to learn to control your sons better. Who are these boys being raised by most of the time? Women. A lot of these mothers allow their sons to do whatever the fool free fuck what he want to do. Mama baby so handsome, ain't nobody handsome as mama baby. He gonna be a little heartbreaker. He got how many girlfriends you got? Those type of things. So as these boys mature and get older, and now he got his hormones going out of control, and he ain't never learned how to control them from a man, and he gets to be a grown ass man, and he's in those situations. Some of these cats don't take no for an answer. And the thing that pisses me off about this conversation is that people get more mad at me and brothers like myself in this space for saying things than they are at the guys that actually did something to somebody. I had to check a group of men one time. I had to tell them, bro, y'all talking all this shit. Y'all sound like some bitches. Straight up and down, man to man. I know them fighting words, but it is what it is. Y'all sound like some bitches. Because y'all repeating what a lot of these women say, but each and every one of y'all got one cousin or somebody in your family that don't know how to pick men, been getting her ass whooped for 3 years, and not nan one of you motherfuckers went over there, knocked on that door, and pulled that dude out the house. Did you? And all of them got silent. Nobody could say anything. Because we know this stuff goes on daily, but no physical harm comes to the guy that actually is out there harming women. That bothers the hell out of me. I'm not wishing ill will on anybody, but a lot of these guys aren't held to the level of accountability they should be. But you get mad when we start having the conversation and we do ask, why was she over there? Why did she go to that guy's house so late at night? Like, and y'all got to grow up as women out there too. A part of this rape culture is when women get ashamed and start making false claims. We'll get to that in a second as well. Let me slide over to some of these comments. They said, not black men's. That's what. Oh, that's what a lot of these guys sound like. Oh, where's my
It's raining men. Hallelujah.
That's what a lot of these dudes sound like when they get to talking, Mona. Yeah, he definitely did, JC. Broken made better work than heal. He did. Like, you appreciate the view, and we understand that. I think all of us are fathers. Well, not all of us, but the majority of us that I know have followed my content and had these conversations. A lot of us are fathers. A lot of us are fathers of daughters. So we take this type of stuff serious. It's not just like, oh, you know, we just want harm to come to women. No, we're trying to give you a heads up. Again, as the brother said, I'm gonna play it again. I wouldn't do it, but there's guys out there that would. And sis immediately got mad and started going in on him. Nobody ever holds the guy that actually did it accountable. Well, let me backtrack. I don't want to speak in absolutes. I'm not gonna say nobody, but it's rarer that these guys are held accountable for their actual deeds than a lot of guys are being held accountable for the way they speak. But I'm gonna play it again so y'all can hear it.
I would not grab your body, but there are people that will. That will, right. So you should dress appropriately.
See, what a lot of you guys are going to find out in this Freaknik documentary is that a lot of your fathers are sexual predators, rapists, and assaulters and otherwise. No matter what somebody has on, you should be able to control yourself. And there's this narrative that if women dress provocatively, that you are entitled to their bodies. And that's not true. You need to teach your raggedy ass son some self-control. And no matter what anyone has on, you should be able to show them some form of respect to keep your fucking hands to yourself. Or you could get popped. Or you could go to jail. It's up to you. Pray on it.
And again, sis is right. However, there's layers to it, because a lot of these women are with it. So if you're dressing like the women that are with it like that, a lot of dudes don't know, and some aren't going to hesitate. I'm not saying it's right. I think it's totally wrong. I totally disagree with it. However, there's going to be somebody that tries you. Then the guys that disagree are supposed to protect your honor. And that shit usually goes left. When the police show up, the guy that didn't do anything somehow gets blamed. The guy that didn't do anything that's just caught on camera, we're going to get to that in a second, Marc Lamonthill. The guy that's caught on camera just for being there is held to a higher level of accountability than the guy that actually raped somebody or grabbed somebody. Because I've been in settings like Freaknik. I missed it by a year. But I've been in settings like Freaknik, taking pictures with girls where my hand was grabbed by them and put on their titty. I pulled away because guess what? You a little bit too tipsy. And tomorrow you're going to be hollering about I touched you and you didn't want it. And I'm not going to gamble with that. Once again, brothers, we're going to get into that a little bit later too. I keep telling y'all, stop fucking with married women. Stop fucking with drunk women. But let's get to Marc Lamonthill's comment. First, let me get over here to these comments. As y'all come in, make sure y'all hit the like button, man. I appreciate everybody being here again. Fine, but teach your daughter some self-respect. Exactly, JC. And this is another big problem we have. We want to hold black men to a level of accountability where we got to keep being better, or we got to be traditional protectors and providers and things like that, at the same time that we're telling women they can do what the fuck they want to do. We're telling men that they got to be leaders and telling women they don't have to follow. And then when women turn around and be like, ain't y'all the leader? It's crazy. Everybody wants us to be the leader when it's time to do some heavy lifting or something goes wrong. When things are going right, guess what? Find the nearest black woman and pat her on the back. I say it all the time. When these boys make the league, mama did the best she could. She sacrificed so much. That little fucker turned into a goddamn felon. And then guess what? Where his daddy at? Black men are failing. Where are the black men? What's going on in our community? Blase blah. I appreciate that, JC. Appreciate it, Mona. Yes, they spew that into their sons. It's so many black women that I've seen that are in love with their son. I say it all the time. It is emotional incest. I'm going to have to dedicate an entire live to that. So again, thanks, Broker Tradition. So I'm loading up my ammo for May. I'm going to have to dedicate an entire live to emotional incest. A lot of these women are doing everything with their sons except sleeping with them. I wish I was exaggerating, but I'm not. And I know y'all seen it too. No, I didn't think. I put it in the chat earlier. Let me pin it. You right. I was trying to get to my channel. I apologize. I appreciate the reminder. I told y'all Broker Tradition be helping me out way more than I be helping him. I try to give him a little piece of knowledge every now and then. Be thinking I'm doing something, then he'll hit me back like 3 days later, be like, man, did you see this? Did you try that? Did you read that? Did you hear about this? Let me go ahead and pin this. This is the link if y'all want to cam up. It is linked to the top of the chat if y'all want to cam up. Let me see. Keep on scrolling. Facts. We're going to keep these comments going. Mona also says, yes, there will be men who try these women. Women just stay out of the lion's den. And that's something, Mona, I don't have one for the ladies, but you get a
Hand down, man down. Mama, there goes that man.
I got to find one for the ladies when y'all drop something cold. I appreciate it, Mona. And bring it back up. There are going to be men that try y'all ladies. I'm not saying it's right, but you have to be able to get with some brothers that you know got your best interest. And I know we go back and forth on whether men and women can be platonic and stuff like that, but it's a lot of us that love you. Like we've loved you, not even in a romantic sense. You sister, you play cousin. We sung in the children's choir together. We done grew up together. Our families know each other. Our grandmamas still go to the same church. We'll look out for you. But a lot of times, subconsciously, a lot of black men, we just want to know that y'all got our back the way we got y'all's. Because a lot of brothers that had got their head bust to the white meat ended up in jail or smoked behind a woman's words and trying to protect her. And again, he get his ass whooped trying to protect her, and she right back up under the dude that not only whooped his ass, was whooping her ass too. What's going on, my Gangs Uncut? It's another solid brother, solid content. Y'all make sure y'all go follow him. He does a lot of work when YouTube shut down, that cell phone get put down. This brother does a lot of work in the community here in Atlanta. Can't thank him enough for the stuff he's doing on YouTube and outside of this, YouTube space. Yes, them little fuckers. Mind Games Uncut.
There's powerful niggardry at work here.
And as the brother always says, hey man, some of us ain't gonna make it. We be having these real conversations at the cigar bar, man, because these are brothers I know. Mind Games Uncut, Broken Tradition, these are brothers I know. I've chopped it up with, sat with, talked about fatherhood, other things like that. Smoked a good cigar, had a great conversation. And that is, you need to patent that, bro. I mean, not patent it, but copyright that. Some of us ain't gonna make it. We'll be having these deep conversations. He'll just stop mid-sentence. Man, such and such, and these brothers and sisters out here, man, we gotta start getting it. Some of us ain't gonna make it. Oh, Mona, I gotta. You get this.
Man down, man down. Mama, there goes that man.
Mama, there goes that lady. Mona, you on fire.
Dynamite.
Like, real talk, and bring it back up. They don't really love their sons, though. They want to control them. That's when the son husband comes in. That's when the husband son comes in. I know some of y'all probably heard about the son husband, where he's mama's man, and we hear women say that shit all the time. That's mama's little man. But the husband's son is when she got a grown ass man and they're doing what he's supposed to do, but she talked to him like a child. She treat him like a little boy. I've had that happen to me. Again, I've had conversations with other brothers, and I've had women that don't think nothing about it when they say shit like that. Say crazy things to their man because he came in a little bit late. I know he cheating. Y'all damn near dropping these brothers off at these other women houses. When y'all putting pressure on them like that, the worst thing you can do is accuse an innocent man, and an innocent black man at that. As much bullshit we get finger pointed at on a regular basis, that ain't what we want when we come home. I really appreciate that, Mona. I really do. Yeah. Emotional incest is a thing, bro. I've witnessed it with my own eyes. I was going back and forth with somebody on Facebook today. They were saying, oh, you just, you be talking about all women because of your poor experience and stuff like that. I'm telling you what I've seen. I'm big on things that actually took place. Not this fantasy world that so many of us are living in. It's not just the women living in delusion either, brothers. It's a lot of y'all out there doing the same shit. Cool. I told you, bro. I had to go find me a basketball soundbite, man.
Hand down, man down. Mama, there goes that man.
Not that Theo Coop, the Do Better podcast, needs my help, but y'all make sure y'all go follow this brother if you haven't already. He is killing it. He does great reaction videos with common damn sense. Common sense, and we all know common sense ain't common. I appreciate you being in here, Theo. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all hit the like button and share. I'm gonna get back to these videos. I really do like to engage with y'all and try to keep up in the comments. Peace, Lou Charles. I see you. Keep on scrolling. All right, I think we got everything. Now let's get to Marc Lamont's comments. Let's go ahead. We're gonna go straight into it.
All right, family, we have reached the end of the show, but before I let y'all go, a lot of noise is being made about this Freaknik documentary. A whole bunch of people talking about whose names and faces and voices and bodies are going to show up on this video from the 90s. And most of the conversation is about whether or not women will be exposed on this documentary, whether people's mamas and girlfriends and wives and daughters are going to show up in a Freaknik documentary. And I hear you. But that's the wrong issue. Look, I was outside in the 90s. I've been to Freaknik as an aspiring young journalist covering the story, of course. And when I was there...
Y'all notice how he injected that? I've been there, but I was there for work. There's another video I got to do, start bringing up how people be double talking a lot of times. They'll slide something in and then try to ease it back real quick.
I saw what was happening. It's not just about women being half naked. It's not about women's hypersexuality. No, Freaknik is about men ogling, men fondling. Freaknik had a lot to do with male hypermasculinity and sexual violence.
I'm gonna let it play.
Freaknik is a rape fest. It is a sexual assault fest. That's not the only thing going on out there. I'm not trying to demonize or pathologize black people. But if we're talking about the worst parts of Freaknik, it wasn't about the actions of women. It was about the disgusting actions of us men. And so when you watch Freaknik, you don't need to be worried about mama, daughter, sister, girlfriend. You need to be worried about brother, son, husband, or yourself, and whether or not you were engaged in some of the worst parts of patriarchal culture, whether you were part of the worst parts of rape culture and misogyny and sexual violence. When we talk about Freaknik and the way we talk about Freaknik, it's a representation of all the problems we have in a society that always blames women for the actions of men. So don't check the women, check yourself. Men fondling.
Now I'm going to break this down.
Freaknik is about men ogling,
Ogling, to stare at with lust. You know how many women see a man walk in over 6 foot and say, bitch, he can get it? Hug on the nigga, try to rub the coochie on him when she hugging on him. But let's continue.
Fondling. Freaknik had a lot to...
Was she with it? Again, I'm not with sexual assault and rape. I told y'all I'm a paralegal by trade. I've seen cases, had cases. I used to work in juvenile justice. Again, had a 14-year-old girl that had a 2-year-old baby, which means she was pregnant at 12, which means she probably got sexually assaulted, molested, raped at 11. I don't take this shit lightly at all. But the way this brother is painting it, I really don't appreciate. Because he tried to take himself out of it in the beginning. Notice he said, oh, I was there as a college student, as an aspiring journalist. Then he goes on to say, you know, it's disgusting acts by us men. So what the fuck were you doing, Marc Lamonthill? You low-key kind of told on yourself. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe you saw some shit and your ass didn't stop it. So we got to beg, so that begs the question. Let's continue.
Do with male hypermasculinity and sexual violence. Freaknik is a rape.
Why is hypermasculinity connected to sexual violence? Hypermasculinity could also be protection, which would require a level of violence if we need to get a rapist off a woman. Let's continue.
Fest. It is a sexual assault fest. That's not the only... Is a rape fest. It is a sexual assault fest. That's not the only thing going on out there. I'm not trying to demonize or pathologize black people. But if we're talking about the worst parts of Freaknik, it wasn't about the actions of women. It was about the disgusting actions of us men. And so when you watch Freaknik, you don't need to be worried about mama, daughter, sister, girlfriend. You need to be worried about brother, son, husband, or yourself, and whether or not you were engaged in some of the worst parts of patriarchal culture, whether you were part of the worst parts of rape culture and misogyny and sexual violence. When we talk about Freaknik and the way we talk about Freaknik, it's a representation of all the problems we have in a society that always blames women for the actions of men. So don't check the women, check yourself.
Wow, the land of make-believe.
This motherfucker is just gonna make up shit because it's the worst parts. So I got a couple of questions. Let me go ahead and bring that up. I'm gonna share this screen real quick. I won't be up, but I know y'all can hear me in the chat. Y'all just let me know what y'all think of some of these questions that I brought up. Looking at Marc Lamonthill's comments and the other sisters' comments from TikTok before, but y'all let me know what y'all think in the chat. So this is one of the questions I had personally. If there were so many camcorders and so much sexual assault, wouldn't there be more evidence that came out over the last 30 years? Another question. Do we hold women accountable for sexual assault if they set up their friends to have a train ran on her, something to that effect? Example, girl, you born, we getting drunk tonight, and they leave them with the dude because they're going over there with his homeboys. It'd be sexual assault if she was partying with one guy and the same result was drunken sex. And then I had another question. What happened to I was young, and does it only apply to women? Which men will be held accountable for their actions? The ones that did the SA, the sexual assault, or blaming other men for just being around? Those are some of the questions I just started out with. Let me bring this back down. I'll get back to the other ones in a second. But that was just some of the stuff that was on my mind as I was looking at his comments. And it just made me curious when brothers are just sitting up there saying this type of stuff, and they'll try to dial it back and say, oh, I'm not saying that's all that was happening, but that's your focus, right? So what's our focus as a community when this does happen? Because again, you know your cousin getting her ass whooped. Did you go over there and check that dude? Or did the women in the family, the older women, say, hey, don't go over there, Malik. You know how your cousin is. You know she like them rough men. I don't want you to go over there and then something happen. And you know she gonna be right back with them. We ain't got time for all that. That's the last thing we need. If you go over there starting shit, leave it alone. Mind your business. We have seen that, heard that. I know I have. Y'all drop a one if you heard that before from an older family member, heard these stories, or had that shit happen to you. Just drop a one in the chat for me, or words to that effect, because we see it all the time. I know I do, and I know I try to be a little bit more attentive than the average person. I don't just shrug stuff off, especially when it's a recurring theme, and we've heard this from women themselves. Don't go over there. Don't say nothing to them. You gonna make it worse. It's my fault. And I get it. There's a psychological piece to abuse. There's a psychological piece to sexual assault and things of that nature. But at what point are we gonna address it? Because it's rarely, if ever. When I ask these questions, I get so much heat. I get so much pushback from people. But when are we going to really address it and start tackling this shit? Because that dude that sexually assaulted or raped somebody, whether it's a young girl or a grown woman, he need his ass stomped out. And shouldn't nobody be worried about getting snitched on. But guess what happens? When the police comes up, he got such a mental hold on a lot of these women. They'll point out the guy that went over there for starting shit. Same thing with Freaknik. I asked the question that I just pulled up. All the camcorders, all the things that were supposed to happen. Where were the complaints? Where were the police reports that were filed over the last 30 years? If it was that horrible of an experience that continued, then who are we going to hold accountable? Do you hold the city accountable? Do you hold the police accountable? It was another question I had. Let me find that one, because this is the one that kind of gets people going. I'm gonna read it. This isn't my best work. I do like to write. I am working on a book. We can talk about that at another time, but I do like to write. This is not my best work. This is just stuff I was jotting down this morning as I sat there. But I'm gonna share this other question. This one right here. Participating and enticing sexual acts, Black America's, KKK for a reason, immediate response is to criminalize any black man that turned his head to look at a fat ass and paint him as a rapist. while telling women that they have a right to not report, but double talking by saying these men should be held accountable. Who's going to do that if the victims won't come forward and accept help from those who would be more than willing? If you're asking that witnesses come forward, remember, if the victim doesn't want to go forward, then it's almost null and void. You can't force someone to tell, just like you can't force someone into sex. Y'all let me know what y'all think of that. If I'm off base, if it's another point, again, the link to the video cam is at the top. It's in the chat. But I'm gonna slide over to some of these comments. I appreciate y'all with the ones. Let me slide up a little bit. Exactly, Mona. Yet he was there, but he was just a college student trying to record, get his journalism on.
A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit.
His ass was out there with a camera having fun too. My game's so good. My mama was out there.
Man down. Mama, there goes that man.
Oh. So he's a Democrat shield. Like, I done seen some of everything. I done seen him with them. What's crazy was, bruh, I was agreeing with Candace Owens when he was talking to her. He was talking about that trans women are women and all that jazz. I'm not even gonna get into that tonight. Keep it. And this is real talk, JC.
Hand down, man down. Mama, there goes that man.
These wasn't the college students doing all the BS. It was ninjas from the hoods, mainly. Once again, another big issue I have. Who are you gonna blame? Because these dudes went right back to the hood, right back to slanging dope. Don't believe me? Went right back to pimping. Got a video coming up in a second. Y'all rock with me. These dudes went right back to their daily activities. You got to remember, so many people came from all over to come to Atlanta. Atlanta was already a city of dope. And then I think that was around the time BMF was down here. Not saying anybody from that crew was involved. But you got dudes down here that's in the city that know chicks are coming from wherever. They don't know their way around town. Boom, he got them one. And this is where we start talking about, like the brother said before, watching how you dress. It's not just how you dress. Watch who you going with. Know your friends. Real quick, pivot real quick for a second. R.I.P. to Shanquella Robinson again. Feds saying they don't have enough to file charges here in the States. What about your friends? TLC asked that years ago. What about your friends? She went on vacation with her friends and didn't come back. And another big issue, I'm gonna say this, and then I might touch on it again. I don't know, because this one has me pissed off since, Kofa hate black women so much. This shit got me pissed off. She went down there with her friends, and obviously, my opinion, some gay men, because I highly doubt some straight dudes went down there. And the dude on the other side of the camera telling her to fight didn't sound straight to me. Say I'm judging and, off base, or I'm not PC, all you want to. I don't give a shit. That dude didn't sound straight to me. So she went down with her friends and her female-like male friends and didn't make it home. Nobody's holding women accountable. Nobody's holding the LGBT community accountable. But if she would have went down there with her boyfriend and came up missing, all black men would be to blame. I got to give myself one for that because I know I'm preaching.
Hand down, man down. Mama, there goes that man.
Let me get back over here to these comments. Smoke and talk. What's going on, y'all? Appreciate y'all coming through. Baltimore is in the building. I got to come back up there and get some crab cakes. Real talk. Appreciate y'all brothers being in here. And shout out to sis too. Shout out to all three of y'all, man. Y'all be over there cooking. I'll be trying to catch y'all during the day. I'll be halfway working, halfway on YouTube. halfway trying to work my shit on YouTube. I appreciate y'all being in here. JC says, again, Broken Tradition had a better presentation than he did as far as my belief. And notice this too, when I played the video, JC, notice that Marc Lamont Hill was like, hey, before we get out of here. So it wasn't that important for the G.R.O.W.T.H or him to talk about. They saved it to the end of his broadcast, apparently, just for him to inject that shit in there. Again, start paying a little bit more closer attention. I'm not questioning anybody's intellect. I know the intellect level of the people that's in here, those of y'all that I do know and have interacted with, but just notice those little nuanced things that they slide in, because you can attach anything negative to a black man. Peace again, Smoke and Talk. Yes. If y'all got a channel, man, make sure y'all drop it in the chat. This is a free space. I want people to connect. That's the whole purpose of social media. Let's connect, man. Have these conversations with each other. Everybody got social media, whether it's Facebook, IG. Y'all follow these people on here. Y'all drop y'all links in the chat, man. Oh, JC said, fuck them. I feel you, JC. That shit had me tight, too. Mona, I swear, Mona, we love you to death. We gonna protect Mona at all costs. And the thing about you, Mona, you're a married woman, you're a mother, you have 2 boys. You see from this space the stuff they could be looking at dealing with in the future. And I know you trying to bust your ass every way possible to make sure that's not your 2 boys' reality. Hold on, let me get in here. Read this off. Women stay lusting after men openly with no F's given. 2 weeks ago, security had to throw this woman out from my hubby's job because she harassed him and made sexual innuendos.
In the criminal justice system, sexually based offenses are considered especially heinous.
What did I just say? Women can be predators too. It's women that have set each other up. Again, Shanquilla, RIP, her friends killed her. So you can't convince me women didn't come down here in Freaknik and just let something happen to their friends. Broken Tradition in reference to Marc Lamont Hill, I'm sure, said, heard it all before, like Sunshine Anderson. Preach. Yep, I stay out of other people's disputes. And it's sad, bro. I hate to be like that. I ain't gonna lie. I say it all the time. I'm a reformed nice guy, but I don't want to see these sisters hurt. But at the same time, I want to go home to my daughter, because I know that shit could go left. I go over there trying to protect her. I get my ass whooped. Nothing's gonna happen. Or I get killed. Who's gonna take care of my daughters? Or I go over there, whoop his ass, or end up having to kill this dude. Now I'm in jail just because of her mouth or whatever situation was going on. And it sounds fucked up, but I need women to understand this. I'm gambling with my life just to protect you. So why wouldn't you be with a solid dude in the first place that you know is willing to protect you? Because my presence alone, shout out to Trigger Mike. I don't know if y'all follow that brother, but he's solid too. I like his content. He was telling a sister on a panel a couple of weeks ago that black men's presence, period, is women's protection. Because a lot of guys aren't going to try you when they know it's a dude they got to scrap with. I don't give a fuck about size or anything about that. Because as men, we're not stupid. I'm not going to try you because I don't know what you're carrying. But let's keep going. Mind Games Uncut says facts. Preach. Yes, y'all make sure y'all get the likes up in here. From my equipment, I'm off 1 like. It ain't that serious. There's 8 of us in here, 9 plus me. Got 7 likes. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. And sometimes the likes lag. They go up and down, and I don't know what the algorithm is doing. I'ma just keep cooking. Yeah, it pissed me off, JC. It really did. Because even though he said, I'm not trying to paint this light. And notice something else. Let me play that real quick. Let me go back and play that real quick, and then I promise y'all we'll move on.
All right, family, we have reached the end of the show, but before male hypermasculinity and sexual violence, Freaknik is a rape fest. It is a sexual assault fest. That's not the only thing going on out there. I'm not trying to demonize or pathologize black people.
I'm not trying to demonize or pathologize black people. Now it turned into black people. When he wanted to specify black men, again, what did I just say? You can attach anything negative to a black man.
There is powerful niggardry at work here.
You can attach anything negative to a black man. When he wanted to clean it up, it was black people. When he wanted to demonize, it was black men. I just wanted to make sure y'all caught that. Excuse me again. Look, I swear to God, we doing that live again, Mind Games Uncut. The one about Charleston White, grapey ass. We gonna do that again. Look, he told me you better not talk about the LGBT community. But a couple of weeks ago, I was trying to do a live on Charleston White, and I was dropping the R word left and right. I was hot about that shit. And I got to come back and clean it up a little bit because I'm still hot, but we doing that live. But I say that to say, YouTube dropped my video. Something popped up on the window, told me to ban Mind Games Uncut. It was crazy. My software went crazy. My computer started freezing up. So if you don't think these folks can hit a goddamn button and perform a miracle and shut your shit down, they can. That's another important part about having this male-centric, this black male space. Whether or not you want to call yourself part of the manosphere or red pill, it really doesn't matter. But that's the other part that's important about having this space and this platform, because it's really the only thing we got until we get our own studios, have content, not just content creators on our own platforms, but have the audience coming to support our own platform. Then we're going to be here on YouTube, and if they want to shut this shit down, they can. So any of the moderators, any of the other content creators in the chat, man, y'all keep that in mind. Let's start talking and having that conversation. I know me, Mind Games Uncut, and Broken Traditions had mentioned it, and we'll probably circle back around after I, wrap up Ramadan this week. I know I've been kind of out of the loop with you brothers, but my first Ramadan, I'm gonna drop a video on that as well. So that's gonna be coming in May as well. But anyway, let's continue tonight. Kill Hall, what's going on, good brother? Hustlers, drug dealers, pimps, ballers, college students, everybody was down there. If anybody was down here in the South, I know y'all know about Freaknik. I'm from Bama, up at Tuskegee. They had the Players Ball, very similar, just on a smaller scale. It's been so many of these things that pop off, and guess what? Again, the women go down there because they know the pimps, the hustlers, the ballers are down there. They going to go get that money. And then guess what? Unfortunately, some innocent woman gets caught up in that shit because a lot of the guys do have in their mind that a lot of these women are with it. But there's so many other guys that just came down there to look at some half-dressed women, eat funnel cakes from the damn vendors, kick it with their boys, smoke weed, and maybe if they come up on something, then they come up on something. But this predatory shit that people are now trying to damn put out there, we ain't gonna rock with that. That's why I'm doing my piece. Y'all hold on, let me grab this call. Bam, hold on, Broken Tradition. There you go, brother. Peace. What's going on, man? Can you hear me? Oh, I can't hear you.
No, I was on mute, my bad. I was talking to Lex.
Oh.
She said hi.
Oh, what up, Lex?
Kofa said what up.
That was for Mama Lex. That wasn't for you, Broken Traditions. You making me work.
I got me on two screens like I'm some...
You making me work. You on two screens?
Yeah, right? Well, no, okay, you got me on the big screen and you on the little screen. Okay, I'm looking at myself.
You remember, because earlier, again, like I told y'all, the brother be helping me out. Earlier, he had came on, and him and Mama Lex, who shall remain faceless on on the actual lives. Mr. Justin, there you go. I had to make a little bit of room and stretch out the camera.
Okay.
I went back to my squircle.
Hold on.
There we go. All right, cool. Cool. Again, let me give you the hand clap, brother. For real. Appreciate you coming in.
Man down. Mama, there goes that man.
What's going on, bro?
Not much. I just want to see how the broadcast look with somebody else jump in. That's all. I was just being nosy.
Oh shit, you in here now, man? What you think? What we talking about tonight, bro?
No, I think you hitting on all cylinders. Like, you got some great points, man. I know you got another video to show. I'm waiting for you to show that video as well.
Oh yeah. I do. I'm gonna get to some of these comments while you're up here.
Okay, I was trying to I wanted to hop on earlier, but my camera died, so now I'm using my phone as a camera. So. Oh
yeah. You know, we were talking about that. You know, switching up equipment and having those different angles and just having the backup.
Yeah.
So it's all good, man.
Yeah, I'm not home right now, so I'm just using what I got.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Let me get to this comment from Mona D. It said, yes, and this broad was about 60 years old, old enough to be his mother.
Damn.
That's crazy. But you know what? I can't say it's not crazy, Mona. I swear y'all gonna think I'm lying. Hold on. Get that late damn law orders for sex coming up to a man's job.
In the criminal justice system, sexually based offenses are considered especially heinous.
Lord. But y'all gonna think I'm lying, but my mom is in her mid-60s and she has a friend around the same age. You know, this grown-ass old grandma woman will not date a man if he doesn't have a criminal record.
My bad. I was
nasty bitch.
Mid-60s, won't date a man if he don't have a criminal record. So Mona, I can kind of believe that shit. Unfortunately.
Damn.
That's wild. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to Mona's channel as well. She makes really good, wholesome content, but it's in the same vein of being a better mother, a better wife, raising the kids, the family structure. But she does make really good content. If you want to come over here and hear some cussing, it's me. If you want to low key get your soul saved, go over there and see Mona. And then, we're going to work out the balance between our little YouTube family. Yo, peace. This is my partner, Ty. What's going on? This is my other cigar partner, man.
That's how I was going.
Hand down, man down. Mama, there goes that man.
Bro, you ain't missed much. We talking about Marc Lamont and how he tried to plaster the YouTube groping and things like that just solely on the black men. Getting ready to try to Me Too a bunch of brothers, kind of how he tap danced around it and kind of fucked up part. He saved that and injected it at the end of his broadcast and then got off. So it wasn't the sexual assaults that he was talking about at Freaknik wasn't even a big priority to him. That's the crazy part. How he kind of slid that in.
Not to mention he was there.
Exactly. He was there as a college student trying to get his journalism on.
A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit.
Let me get it back on us. Look, Mona said, look, all that craziness is typical at this point. That is wild. It is really wild. And these are some of the things that brothers be complaining about, kind of across the board, man. What my boy say, we're going to get to that other video next, but hold on, y'all. He said, you mean Marc Lamonthill?
Hand down, man down. Mama, there goes that man.
Yeah, man.
Atasa is breaking up.
Is it?
I don't know. Maybe I should hop off then. I just want to see how it looks.
Okay, cool. Shout out to Dr. Evil Genius. He says, wow, first time catching a live stream, best community post on my YouTube timeline. I appreciate you. I really do, man, because this brother subscribed to me just based off my community post. I appreciate you being in here to cook with us. But you're going to drop off, BT?
Yeah, I'm going to watch the video on the computer. I'll watch it.
Okay, cool. I appreciate you coming in. Make sure you do comment in the chat though, bro, because you be dropping jewels too. But let's get over here to these other videos, man, so we can keep this thing going. Something a little bit lighthearted, I got to point out, but let's see what this brother talking about.
Well, I don't feel like texting. What the fuck are you talking about?
You know, that documentary finna come out. I just want to know, like, before it come out.
What damn documentary?
About Freaknik. I just want to know if you was there.
I ain't never even been to no motherfucking Freaknik, and if I was, what can you do about it?
I mean, nothing. I just want. I don't want to be ashamed.
Yeah, what you gonna be ashamed for? What? You wasn't the one sucking the dick.
Mama.
Now you notice, once again, I just like to point these things out that I picked up on. Quite sure some of you did too. First, she said she ain't never been to Freaknik. Then she asked him, well, if I was there, why would you be ashamed? Because you weren't the one sucking the dick. Mama low-key telling on herself. But, again, I'm going to play it again, see if y'all catch it.
I ain't never even been to no motherfucking Freaknik, and if I was, what can you do about it?
I mean, nothing. I just want. I don't want to be ashamed.
Yeah, what you gonna be ashamed for? What? You wasn't the one sucking the dick.
Mama, Dynasty's in the car.
Oh.
Wow, the land of make-believe.
Hey, you can't make this shit up, man.
You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Man. But yeah, did y'all catch that? Mama switched up real quick too, man. That's wild. We're gonna keep on getting to these videos. Now, the next one is, I'm gonna let it play. It's a couple of minutes, so give me some time. Don't drop off. I promise you, we're gonna talk back on it, and I'm gonna get to some of my other questions, and then kind of read the article. Matter of fact, y'all hold on with me. Stay with me right there. We're gonna do that first. We're gonna read this article, and then we're gonna pivot to the video, and then we're gonna get ready to wrap up, because these last two videos are just a couple of minutes, but this is the serious meat of the conversation tonight. Like Marclamonthill comments, like, y'all know better. I know y'all smarter than that, but unfortunately, you got to kind of gear up and get ready to have these debates, arguments, disagreements, and stuff like that whenever this documentary does drop, because everybody's going to they're warming up to blame black men again. So let's look at this article real quick. I'm going to read it fast. Again, not trying to insult your intelligence, but I know some of y'all are milling around doing last minute stuff, maybe ironing, getting ready for work. You're just tuning in, listening. Again, I appreciate y'all. Again, at the top, Cash App, PayPal, trying to get monetized. If you can, you can. If you don't, I'm still fucking with you. I just pray you still fuck with me. But do hit the like button, because likes are free. Do hit the share button, because sharing is free. Do hit the subscribe button, because subscribing is free. I really appreciate y'all. Now let's get to this story. So this is from News One. This is prominent black professionals sue Hulu over 94 Freaknik documentary release. I know some of you may have seen it, heard it, but let's read through it real quick. The release of Hulu's documentary about 94 Freaknik celebrating its upcoming 30th anniversary has Gen X up in arms. Many of the 90s college students are now in their 40s and 50s and in the prime of their careers. a group of prominent black professional women plan to sue the streaming company and block the film's release. Hold on, I lost something on the screen. Boom. Okay, and block the film's release. Based on concerns about what could potentially be exposed, they are filing a lawsuit in Atlanta's federal court against Hulu. The women, once again, are saying it is unlawful because they did not sign media releases. I'll touch on that in a second. Produced in part by Uncle Luke Campbell, who tweeted out the doc's announcement last week, Freaknik, the Wildest Party Never Told, will also see Jermaine Dupri play a part in production as well. The choices seem fitting given the link that both artists had in the cultivating the Atlanta party scene during the early to mid 90s. Other people involved. While some cast members of RCMS agree with their defense and believe it may hold weight in court, Special K and the Brat believe that fair use will come into play due to it being independent footage. RCMS, Ricky Smiley Morning Show. That's what it was. I forgot they had that discussion as well. Special K and the Brat believe that fair use will come into play due to it being independent footage in the mass public. This group of women is comprised of one politician, 3 high-level corporate executives, and 1 judge. I wish I had I got a PhD button from Kevin Samuels. According to Media Takeout, one of the C-suite executives stated that there are already videos circulating online that show her in an unflattering light. She is married with 3 children, earns north of $1 million annually in her position, and is hoping to block the official debut. The women plan to remain anonymous. More details of the case continue to develop. The Freaknik documentary is set to hit Hulu in 2024 with a possible mid-April release. Next April will be the 40th, actually the 30th. I think that was a typo. Y'all help me. I don't want to do math in public. 40th anniversary of famed Freaknik, 94 Freaknik celebration. All right, cool. So, again, I think that was a typo. Again, help me do some math real quick. 94, 04, 14, 2024. Okay, that's only 30 years. Again, I try not to do math in public. But y'all see what's said about it. In that article, the women are executives. They got these corporate positions. They don't want to be embarrassed. Again, they inject the family. The first thing they do, they're married with children. Now, my question is, when it comes to the men, are they going to have the same grace that the men are now married with children, fathers, C-suite executives, getting ready to retire from whatever respective field they may be in? Because guess what? If he grabbed the ass and shorty was with it, that's not sexual assault. That's not rape. She was a willing participant. She gave consent. A lot of women are willing and able, but that's why I asked that question, because of the embarrassment, the stigma that may come with it for some women, are we going to start seeing a bunch of false allegations? And then people are going out there looking for these men to quote unquote hold accountable? Because then you got the court of law and you got the court of public opinion. Yeah, it's 30th. Broke traditions. Hold on. Let me get to some of these comments. Exactly, JC.
Hand down, man down. Mama, there goes that man.
I would not have posted that video of my mom saying that. The people joke about shit like this, again, because it's acceptable. Now, as people in the same age group, we'll judge the women, they'll judge us and things like that. But as mothers, and that's another live I'm going to do, the importance of the mother title in the black community. We got to be real about this shit. It's damn near anything that a lot of our women can do and get away with as long as they're a mother. She can be the worst human being, just not a good person, but she'll get a pass because she's a mother. She can be the biggest hoe on the block. She'll get a pass because she's a mother. Well, even women that don't like her, well, you know, we don't really care for each other, but I just know how she feels as a mother. I know how she feels as a woman. She'll get a pass. Brothers, we don't have that protection, so we got to be cognizant of what we're doing as well. I know it looked like fun. We having a good time. Shawty is with it. We know we didn't rape or sexually assault anybody. However, just the premise of how it looks could legally get us in trouble just based off the court of public opinion. Get to some of these comments before I get to the next video. Dr. Evil Genius, perhaps you shouldn't do anything you believe would be damaging to you later in life. Of course, it's always someone else's fault when some in our community are exposed.
Hand down, man down. Mama, there goes that man.
That's real, Doc. It really is. Again, that's my fear, because a lot of times, as I've said before, the guys that actually perpetuate this stuff, they get away with it. The guys that people want to hold accountable, they really didn't even do shit or didn't do anything at all. He may have just been there, but because he didn't throw on his cape, potentially get his ass whooped trying to stop something like that, he's wrong. That's where the whole silence is compliance thing comes in. But again, nobody ever says anything about the women. Let me get to this other video. Now, this is kind of the crux, and this is why another reason I wanted to talk about this. Kind of remember, this sister did the interview. Her name's Tony D. Rivera. She's a sex trafficking advocate. She's trying to get people out of sex trafficking, rescue them, because she was involved in it, where she was a victim of it, and then she became a predator as well. So I do have a question about that. But let me get into that real quick. Shout out to everybody in here, man. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. But let's get into this. I want y'all to pay attention to what she's saying, because she's giving good information, but it's kind of fucked up the way things line up, because this sister is on The Breakfast Club. I'm gonna play you one video from The Breakfast Club, then I'm gonna play another one for Fox Soul, and listen to what she admits to doing.
Activist, right?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes. Now you said you were a victim. What happened? Explain what happened, because like Charlemagne said, we love you. But sometimes when you talk to us,
I got 3 daughters.
Like the other day,
you know what I'm saying?
Let me talk to you about child.
Mercy, man. But people need to hear these stories, though.
Yeah. So what happened?
Went to the Freaknik.
Freaknik in Atlanta.
What
year was
96.
this? 96.
How old were you? I don't want to put your age out there, but were you a teen?
Yeah, teen.
Oh, teenage. Okay.
16 turning 17.
Mm-hmm.
16 turning 17, a minor, but at the Freaknik. This is where a lot of other brothers could get caught up when they faces get shown and people say, oh, that was the dude that did this, or that was the dude I just kicked it with that weekend. But she lied about her age. Let's continue. Not saying this particular woman, but I'm saying in general, it was young high school girls out there too. Again, last week I showed y'all the video. I told you I'm 41, Trina's 44. The video that I showed y'all from 97 meant Trina had just turned 18 probably, but she had her ass out there. So imagine somebody that was 17 could pass. Obviously, this sister said she was 16 and could pass, but let's keep listening.
And went down. We were supposed to be home, sleep over, but I'm the one of the group that's like, I want to go, I want to do things, I want to see everything, I want to just be out there.
Right.
So we went down. We had no money, mind you, no money for gas, no food, money for food, nothing. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do what I do best. Got on top of the car, had a little Daisy Dukes on, as we used to call it, started dancing, and right before my eyes made us $800. It was me, my friend.
Hold on, Ty saying is breaking up. Y'all drop a 1 if y'all can hear me and hear it clearly. Hear the video play clearly.
Tanya, Jackie, this guy named Curtis, and we had nothing.
So people just started throwing money.
Mm-hmm. Then once I got off the car, this guy came up to me, and he was like, "I say you like to dance, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah," and he just gave me this fat wad of money. And being from where I'm from at that time, you didn't talk to your kids about stranger danger.
Mm-hmm.
So me getting that kind of money from somebody who I don't know, and then he had that New York accent, so it was like
talking fast,
yeah,
a lot of cash.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
And
the gift of gab.
it's never too old for stranger danger, by the way.
Oh, it's really not.
Yeah.
It's really not. And when he gave me that, he was like, "Where y'all staying at?" I was like, we don't know yet." He was like, "I can get y'all a room," so he got us a room.
Hold on real quick, Chaotic. Let me bring you up on the screen. Y'all, I had to pause the video for a minute. We got a goddamn celebrity in here. Shout out to brother Chaotic Truth.
What's going on, man?
Peace, brother. One more.
Trying to, I don't know what my mic is.
Mama, there goes
You hear
that
me?
man.
Yeah, I can hear you, brother. I had a lag. Somebody else came in and interviewed as well. So I don't know if it's on my end with that, but I mean, you're kind of lagging, but I can hear you.
Okay. You have a hat. Salute to you, man. You know, positivity's coming your way. I would like to talk about the whole Freaknik thing and give my opinion on it.
Oh yeah, brother. This is an open space. Go ahead, play that and get some input from what the sister said, because she was a victim of the sex trafficking, but she also became a predator. And again, she's on Breakfast Club saying that, but Marc Lamont-Hill is trying to paint what he's trying to paint. But yeah, go ahead, brother Chaotic.
Okay. Well, I don't know where to start. When I was a kid, I was born in 1984, and when all I heard about was the Freaknik. All I heard about was this great party that I, obviously because of my age, could never go to. So many black students from the HBCUs, the PWIs, especially went there. They drank. They smoked weed. They twerked in the middle of the street. They had promiscuous sex. Not thinking that one day that we would have social media. Not thinking that one day we would have a global communication system, or we would be a more global world that is connected, a smaller world. So over the years, you've seen black people particularly, we will beg everybody to respect our culture. We will beg people to respect our hair. We will beg everybody to respect clothing. We will beg everybody to respect marijuana usage, etc., etc. You have all these movements now. You have slut shaming now that has come out. You have these movements even where women say there's nothing wrong with the sex trade now. Now, this was going on a few years ago with these sex worker trade, right? Yeah. Sex worker, right? I've had women call into my panel and scream at me and tell me there ain't nothing wrong with prostitution. There ain't nothing wrong with stripping. There ain't nothing wrong with this, that, and the other. Malcolm X said it many years ago, and other people have said it. The chickens have come home to roost now. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, you have black women who are ashamed at the very same behaviors that they would have said was a part of black culture. Now they're ashamed of it now because it's affecting them. They want to cry. They want to claim that they were raped. But here goes the truth of the matter. It was debauchery taking place back in the 90s at the Freaknik, even before the 90s.
Yeah,
it was debauchery. And what I just left a panel and they got mad at me for saying this. You're either going to be proud of your culture or you're going to have to embrace the ills within your culture and not get mad at people like me for pointing those ills out. Either you're going to respect twerking or you're going to condemn it. See, it's fun when you're twerking in 1996 and you're 22 years old, 23. But see, when you're 50 now, you're probably a managing partner at a Fortune 100. You probably have some other high stakes position. Now, all of a sudden, with this documentary that might be viewed by millions, you don't want the company to see that now.
Yeah, I just read an article on that.
Yeah. So, yep. So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying I just read an article before you hopped on about, I think it was a judge and like 3 executive, women. They're trying to sue the federal court in Atlanta to stop the documentary from coming out. I think I lost you. I think your mic went out.
I don't know if he went out.
No, there we go. There we go.
Yeah, there you go. So here goes my thing. This is what I said. Now try to follow me down this road, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Twerking has been a part of ancient black culture. The ancient black Egyptian women were twerking. All you got to do is look at the hieroglyphs. There are tons of pictures of black women with braids. They're just twerking, popping that ass. Babylonian women who were black. And West Africans, Sub-Saharan Africans love dancing. Yeah. Either you're going to be proud of your culture or you're not. A lot of people over the years, and even before this Freaknik documentary came out, I did a video on twerking like a year ago. I think I will email it to you over a year ago. I condemned twerking. I had people email me. I had dudes even simping, talking about, well, there ain't nothing wrong with that. That's a part of our culture. Well, if it's a part of our culture, why are so many people condemning it now? We pick and choose culture sometimes as Black Americans. We pick and choose it when it's convenient. Often. So 1 minute you're condemning, 1 minute you're calling me an Uncle Tom, or not you, but I'm getting called an Uncle Tom or a coon for condemning smoking weed, drinking. I got into an argument with the guy on my panel the other day before this Freaknik stuff came out. I was condemning him for smoking weed and being high and having a conversation with me. I said, you're barely coherent. He said, that's a part of our culture. That's what Rastafarians do. Ancient Africans do it, blah, 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 all this stuff. But now, look at what happened now with Freaknik. They don't want to be seen doing their cultural antics. So are you proud of it or are you not proud of it? So to those ladies out there, I got to say this to you. So be it. So be it. Also, I say revive the Freaknik. You want to dress like hoes and dress like Cardi B's and dress skimpy and tell the world I'm gonna do me like most like not all black women, of course, but really is American women now who have stopped being conservative. If you want to do that, do it. Do it. What this has shown people, in my opinion, is that black people are really conservative, and we are shamed by the very same things that we indulge in: partying, drinking, kicking it, things that we deem culture, when in fact it's not. It's just debauchery, and it's easy to do. So I'm gonna land the plane with this, sir, and hope
that's the low hanging fruit.
Go ahead.
A lot of times.
Yes, sir.
I'm older than you by 2 years. You say you were born in 84?
Yeah, I'm 38. Yep.
Yeah. I just turned 41 this year. I was born in 82. So, we same era. We seen the same things, heard the same things, and I just got to the point, bro, where I'm not gonna say I'm not stressing it. I see the things I don't like, and it may be a corner you turn when you hit 40, because it really just happened for me at 40. I was like, it's certain things we say that we contradict ourselves all the time. And that's why I was saying earlier in the chat, these grape allegations that's going to come out is just based off sheer embarrassment of a lot of the women. But at the same time, these are the guys they low-key support, that they defend, that the guys that wouldn't do those types of things to them, they condemn those guys because he's lame, he's boring, XYZ. But then if he doesn't protect her from the guy that she chose, then it's black men, plural, flat blackness across the board, don't protect black women. But you actually did the action. You're mad at the guys that were there. I said it right before you came on. You're mad at the guys that was there that didn't step in, because he would have got jumped and got his ass whooped. And then you would have been hands off. Nobody would have did anything for him to help him. And he was trying to be there to low-key fight for your honor. If we're going to call it that, you know, we want to, dare to use the word chivalrous. You're sitting there trying to protect this woman's honor when she's saying that she's with it. And I need to mind my own business. And then, again, the system get 2 niggas for the price of 1. I say it all the time. You got 1 in jail, and you got 1 that's dead. And Shawty done skipped her ass over with the same type of dude. And it's sad. And it's been wash, rinse, repeat for quite some time with this. But a lot of people they really don't like holding women accountable. And even in this space, I say it often, and it's crazy this Freaknik documentary thing came up. I say a lot of men, even in this red pill manosphere space, they're not going to hold the women accountable, because to hold the women accountable in this space means they would have to hold their mama accountable for doing that type of shit. And lo and behold, 2 weeks later, here we are talking about this documentary.
Sir, you put that so eloquently, and I'll tell you this, man. I've gone to I just came from a panel, and some dude said, would you be in the hood and tell a female that around hood dudes? I said, let me tell you something, man. Ain't nobody afraid of no hood or no hood dudes, man. What make a hood dude run with his tail between his legs is a for sale sign. Don't know niggas on no damn hoods. The fact is that I have been in the hood. I've worked in the hood. I went to school in the hood, despite what people think. I went to a junior high school that was the worst junior high school in my city. I hung out in the hood. A lot of women that I've slept with were from the hood. We have to shame at all costs. We have to shame responsibly. Littering, loitering, just sheer debauchery, speeding the cars, running stop signs. It may be little things like that, but if you stop the little things, they won't manifest into large scale problems. If you tell women, stop running your mouth, yakety yakking in the street like you're 12 and dressing half naked, could you imagine how many problems you would solve, or that wouldn't even exist? If you told women, stop drinking and smoking around men you don't know.
No.
If you told women to start doing these things, imagine how many children would not be born out of wedlock. Imagine how many women would not be getting into problems, or even with men. So this culture needs to be analyzed and examined. And I keep saying it, the best way to do it is to examine high profile cases like the Freaknik, which you are so good doing. The Freaknik is a very high profile, high point case in Black history. Rappers rapped about it. It's still remembered to this day, 30 years later. All you got to do is go back and look at the pictures. Negroes were acting pretty much the same damn way back then, and we're acting that way now. Look at the spring break in Miami. Look at how I hate to say this, man. God knows I do, man. Look at how niggas destroyed spring break. Tore it up. Now, you may say
the same thing. Well, we've not to cut you off, but I'm from Alabama. In Tuskegee, we had what we call the Players Ball. It was a big celebration, all that jazz, like a smaller version of the Freaknik. We also have something called the Foot Wash, bunch of freaky shit go down in the woods, and people got tents, and I'll let your imagination do what it do from there. But it's spread so many different Black Bike Weeks. Again, and this is what we keep talking about, and that's one of the big pieces that I like to hit on is the culture. It's like we see this happen over, and we done seen this movie before. And it's like generation after generation, they think they're coming up with something new, and like I like to tell people, this is just a remix to me. You ain't do nothing but change the beat. It's the same dance. We've seen it before.
Same dance, different beat, and just futuristic cars, and then that's it. Same damn thing. And you got cell phones. And like I said before, man, we can't afford to behave like this. I would tell a lot of these Black girls now, the only place you should be in is the damn library at this point. And the fact of the matter is that, could you imagine what the future's gonna be like when these girls who are on OnlyFans get old? But then again, they might not even care.
And
can you imagine?
I just had that conversation. I was like, so if we got a little bit of panic from some VHS tapes coming up 30 years later, imagine what this OnlyFans, Instagram shit is going to be. Same thing with this generation. But again, I asked the same exact question, Chaotic. I said, will they even care? Or will it be the culture?
They probably won't care, man. But I think it'll be too late by then, man. But like I said, man, people like you were doing the work of the Lord, man. And what people have to understand is that people like you and I are actually the Black or the pro-Blacks for real. Because you have to examine not only yourself, but the culture to make everything better. And I feel like a lot of times when you don't admit to things and people lie, I think that makes it worse. When I was, and I have to leave on this note, but when I was teaching, do you know a lot of Black students that I had? I don't know if this was rampant. A lot of Black students I had said they don't like doing math because Black people invented math and everything was created by math and we don't have to do it. And I said, who told you these things? And when you tell lies to certain people over and over, it makes them lazy. You had kids say, I don't have to do nothing. I didn't build this country. This is the white man's country. You brainwash a generation of people not to compete almost. And it ain't whites doing it. It's a lot of times Blacks. I ain't got to do this. I ain't got to do that. You should hear so many Black people call it to my channel that are anti-America because they've been brainwashed to be anti-America. So they say, I ain't got to do nothing. I litter because I don't own the damn neighborhood. I'm like, oh my God. But anyway, man, I'm on for the tangent. Thank you so much, man. I'm definitely going to shoot you that video I made last year about the twerking.
Yeah, brother.
Guys, please.
Shoot me that. Drop your link in the chat. I had some people asking, who you were. So drop your link in the chat. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. I'll go through your page, do the same thing, brother. I appreciate you stopping in.
I'm putting it in the chat right now.
I'm trying to do the Lord's work, man, but I smoke too many cigars and cuss a little bit too much. But I appreciate the compliment.
Cigars are good. It's to indulge. Thank you so much, man. Have a good one.
I appreciate it, brother. You too. Get back on me. Yeah, y'all, that was brother Chaotic Truth. If you're familiar with the Pt2 Let's Talk network, he's on there often. I'm not sure if he's been on there, lately, but that's where I caught him at. But solid brother, gives a different outlook than what we're accustomed to a lot of times, again, in the culture, which is something that I do plan on talking about more and more, and just having that premise of the culture, because it's a lot of stuff where we're eating ourselves. But I'm not going to keep talking. I am going to get back to this video because I want you to hear from sis. I want you to hear it from the horse's mouth. So we're gonna start the video over again. Give me like 3 minutes to let it play, and just hear sis out, and then we'll discuss.
Activist, right?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Now you said you were a victim. What happened? Explain what happened, because like Charlamagne said, we love you, but when you, sometimes when you talk to us,
I got 3 daughters.
I talk to you about traffic, and I'm like, ooh,
Lord have mercy, man. But people need to hear these stories though.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Went to the Freaknik.
Freaknik in Atlanta.
What year was
96.
this? 96.
How old were you? I don't want to put your age out there, but were you a teen?
Yeah, teen.
Oh, teenage. Okay.
16 turned to 17,
Mm-hmm.
and went down. We were supposed to be home, sleep over, but I'm the one of the group that's like, I want to go, I want to do things, I want to see everything, I want to just be out there.
Right.
So we went down. We had no money, mind you, no money for gas, no food, money for food, nothing. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do what I do best. Got on top of the car, had a little Daisy Dukes on, as we used to call it, started dancing, and right before my eyes made us $800. It was me, my friend Val, Tanya, Jackie, this guy named Curtis, and we had nothing.
So people just started throwing money.
Then once I got off the car, this guy came up to me, and he was like, "I saw you like to dance, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he just gave me this fat wad of money. And being from where I'm from at that time, you didn't talk to your kids about stranger danger.
Mm-hmm.
So me getting that kind of money from somebody who I don't know, and then he had that New York accent, so it was like
talking fast,
yeah,
a lot of cash.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. Stranger danger, by the way.
Oh, it's really not.
Yeah.
It's really not. And when he gave me that, he was like, "Where y'all staying at?" I was like, we don't know yet." He was like, "I can get y'all a room." So he got us a room at Howard Johnson by the airport. So we went
Howard
there.
Johnson back in the day was where you stay. Howard Johnson, Red Roof Inn, but go ahead.
Yeah, we stayed there. We still not thinking nothing about it. So he was like, I'm going to a club. I don't know if y'all remember Cheetahs down in Atlanta.
Yep, I remember Cheetahs.
So he took me there, told the guy that I was 18. They let me in. And next thing I know, I hear Southern Belle, Southern Belle come to the stage. I'm like, who the fuck is Southern Belle? I'm looking around like everybody else is looking around. Who is Southern Belle? Next thing I know, he tell me to go on the stage. So I get on the stage and start dancing, and I'm really seeing the money. And
so Southern Belle, he pointed at you and he can say go. You was like, all right, well, we ain't got no money anyway.
Exactly. So got on the stage, started dancing, made more money. So it was like me coming from a little town, not knowing about stranger danger, and me just getting all this money, but not knowing in the back of my mind he had something set up for me.
And what was that? What was that plan that he had for you?
Back then, y'all called it prostitution. We all called it prostitution.
Mm-hmm.
I was the hoe, he was the pimp.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like we were gonna run with it. Then he knew that I liked to sing, and he just made it known that in order for me to get where I need to be fuckable. I had to do it. If that's what I wanted, that's how he wanted to present it to me, help me get on. That's what I had to do. So I just went with it and started doing it.
You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Y'all heard sis give her testimony. Now, it was a 40-minute interview. I chopped it down to those 3 because I just wanted to get the initial stuff on there. Now, she said that she kind of went with the dude because of the money and stuff, but something that that I ended up having to chop out because I didn't want to make it too long. She also spoke on that a lot of times when these guys get in these girls' ears, she thinks she's having a general conversation. Before you know it, she's told them, what town she's from, where her parents stay at. He done got all this information up out of her, so now she's afraid to leave him because he'll go over there and potentially do something to her family because that's his moneymaker now. But again, y'all heard initially, where did it start? 16, out there, out of town, doing shit she ain't had no business doing, no damn money, at the Freaknik. Got on a car, twerked, made $800. Old boy peeped it. Boom. Just like that, she became a prostitute. Took her to a strip club, all that. Then started holding her against her will, things of that nature. I'm going to play this other clip from Fox Soul. This one was like 15-minute long interview, but I think I got it down to about the same amount of time, 2-3 minutes. So y'all just bear with me. I just really want y'all to hear this sister's story because the stuff that Marc Lamont Hill is alluding to he's also leaving out this part of it when females are involved in moving women. I know I'm kind of pivoting from the Freaknik, but a lot of this stuff that does happen in this grape culture, as we call it, is attached to the culture, the get money, get fast money. Again, you holding black men accountable for being leaders, but you're telling black women they don't have to follow. It's not going to work like that. It hasn't worked. It does not make sense. But let's get to this other video, and then we're going to start getting ready to wrap up, y'all.
Did he have to force you to recruit, or did you know that that was just something that was next in line?
I actually brought it up to him because, you know, like I said,
I'm going to stop it there and I'm going to replay it. She brought up recruiting to him. But this is the stuff that doesn't get talked about when we're talking about grape culture.
Did he have to force you to recruit, or did you know that that was just something that was next in line?
I actually brought it up to him because, you know, like I said, I come from a good family and church-going family. And my stomping grounds for recruitment was churches.
Oh, wow.
Wow, churches.
Oh, yeah. That was my place of interest.
How would you approach somebody?
How would you approach?
How would you approach somebody at church?
You just go home, you go to church every Sunday, do your homework on that person, that one person. You see her or him going up to the altar Sunday after Sunday after Sunday. You know he's going for something. He's praying for something. And usually I had my times where I would do my recruiting.
He or she, y'all. Again, something about this grape culture that gets left out. They don't like to talk about the young boys that get caught up in this. They don't like to talk about when the boys are becoming victims of older women. Because at this point that she's recruiting, she's older now. Let's continue.
It's called shopping season. So I would go during Christmas, during Thanksgiving.
And what would you look
Halloween.
for? Because we're trying to teach here.
Yeah.
What would you look for specifically?
The week.
The week. How would you be able to
know?
Yeah.
Just conversation, having conversation with them. Come up to him, yo, or her, yo, you good? What I see you going up to the altar a lot. Just making small talk. She's going to tell me eventually what she want, what she praying for. Like I say, the shopping seasons, Easter time. You're either praying for that money for your spring break, that prom dress. You want something. Your mom need help with the bills, something. So I'm going to present it to you.
So you provided that thing that they were praying
Yes.
for.
But
Wow.
once you try to leave, you owe me.
It's deep, y'all. Y'all go follow sis Tony with the I, D Rivera. She also went on to tell a story like when she did leave that life, it kind of came back full circle on her. She was with her family in New York. Said the whole time they were in New York, they had a car. There was no need for them to take a train. But her daughter wanted to get on the train that day, begged them. Her and her husband took the daughter on the train just to ride the train. You know, a little quick family event just to say, hey, we rode the subway in New York. Well, a guy tries to grab her daughter and kidnap her daughter while they're getting on the train. But y'all can go back to either one of those interviews at your leisure. But again, you see how sis said she went into becoming a predator, basically. She went out there recruiting and hunting. Now I'm gonna bring this up. This is another question that I brought. I'm gonna bring another question I had. Is there as much pushback against Tony, the sister that just finished speaking, being that she was in the life and turned into a predator? Where's the angst for those women, or does the correction now outweigh what happened? Because now she's saving lives. Kudos to her. I told you this ain't my best word. Would you give a male the same opportunity based on sexual predatory behavior? For an example, a man used to pick up underage girls. He used to pick up underage girls at high school. You think the high schools are going to let him come around and be like, yeah, you know, when I was a little bit younger, I used to come up here and pick up underage girls at the high school. So now I go on tour and I talk to parents about, you know, the dangers of men like me, like I used to be. Do you think that's gonna happen? Hell no. So again, we give grace to who we want to give grace to. We allow what we want to allow. We forgive what we want to forgive. We overlook what we want to overlook. And oftentimes, more often than not, it's by the hands of a woman. We'll let them slide with a lot of shit versus what we're going to let slide with a man. Let me get to some of these comments. I know there was a big lag and glitch at one point. I really appreciate those of y'all that stayed in here rocking with me. I had to refresh my YouTube. The stream kept going, but I don't know what happened with the connection. But let me get to some of these comments. Dr. Evil Genius, in reference to what me and Chaotic was talking about, you have to deal with being rejected by them. Those, certain types of women, not all. And judge for not jumping in to save them from the others they chose. That's my point so many times. And for not saving them from themselves. And then we got whole songs, again, the culture, don't save her, she don't want to be saved. And women will tell you that. To let it go. Mind your business. You not my daddy. You don't pay my motherfucking bills. All types of shit like that. Dr. Evil Genius again.
Hand down, man down. Mama, there goes that man.
She's in her second childhood. For those that don't know, Nas is my favorite rapper. I don't know if you can tell over my shoulder, but he had a song, Second Childhood. Let me see. Camera's kind of behind me. Boom. Y'all see Illmatic up there. I got it on vinyl. Don't be a hater all your life. But yeah, Nas my favorite rapper. And you're right, Dr. Evil Genius. They're in their second childhood. They get to have their candy from certain dudes. And it don't always turn out well. Most of the time it doesn't, because they end up with children, STDs. And like I said, they end up with STDs or KIDs from these situations. We're dealing with a lot of these dudes that Marc Lamonthill was alluding to, but he painted with such a broad stroke, black men. As I've said before, you can always attach anything negative to a black man, unfortunately. But for those brothers that didn't do anything, they're probably going to be the ones that's going to be held accountable, because it's going to be a crowd of people standing around watching any of this crazy stuff happen, or they're going to get in trouble just for grabbing ass. Just for even being at the Freaknik. A lot of brothers are going to catch smoke. Now, mama can get up on the car and twerk, and like the sister said, hey, like she told her son, what you worry about it for? You wasn't the one sucking the dick. But she know what go down at Freaknik, but she had just told him that she wasn't there. Make that make sense. So, Broken Traditions, I don't know if you're still in here, brother. Did you get Chaotic's YouTube? Oh, you did. Okay, I see your comment now. You just subbed to him. Good. That's what I like to do, make these connections. Agree, disagree, like, don't like. We got to come to some common ground of understanding, even when we don't understand. This whole, I'm going to pivot again for those in the space, this whole last 2-3 weeks about this Just Pearly Things issue and everybody arguing, calling each other out their names. I did not like that shit. I didn't unfollow anybody or stop fucking with other content creators, as a subscriber myself, but I just didn't like that. I did a video on it myself, but again, my goddamn equipment was fucking up. What a Big Smooth say, not the Hojo. Yeah, man, the Howard Johnson used to be the shit back in the day. Again, I was a little bit younger, but again, remember the stories. Dr. Evil Genius again. Back then we called it, since when did the definition change? Prostitution is prostitution. Now, what I will say on the Breakfast Club interview, she did break down the difference between general prostitution and sex trafficking. So I'm going to paraphrase. Prostitution was basically she's going to sleep with this guy in exchange for money or gifts or blah, 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 and go on about her day. Whereas sex trafficking, you're being held against your will and being used like that. And you may not be used for prostitution. Like I think Big Smooth said, that's how, here it goes, that's how old hoes get promoted in the business. They go out there and start recruiting. They got to bring in their replacements. But again, if it's a sex trafficking situation, you're being held against your will. She was sex trafficked. Again, go look at the interview. She did give a lot of detail, and I think it's a lot of good information that us as parents or us as uncles and aunties or anybody that has a small child or younger child, teenager in their life that they care about can use. She did give up a lot of game. So please do go follow Sis's content. But I do stand by what I said, because if Marc can get on there and talk about black men are predators and things of that nature, we have to ask this sister, do we hold sisters like this accountable that were once in the life and then left the life, but how much damage did they leave? Do we hold them accountable? Because now you want to go back 30 years for black men that again may have grabbed an ass or a titty, but we got sisters to say they were full-on sex traffickers and nobody's saying anything because she's doing good now. Where some of the brothers have moved on and become pastors and things of that nature, they're doing good now. Do black men get the same grace? Just a question. Get to some of these comments. Now this a comment for your ass. You get this.
Man down. Mama, there goes that man.
You get all that.
Dynamite, 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 dynamite.
Shout out to you, Dr. Evil Genius. For those that don't know me, I have had an issue with R. Kelly from jump when these rumors started to swirl and it actually hit. I had a big issue with R. Kelly, and I had an even bigger issue with the support that black women gave him. Well, they'll give grace to R. Kelly, R-word Kelly. Well, I keep letting it go. Not too many other men, though. Exactly. And it comes down to popularity a lot of time with our women, unfortunately. Again, Nas bars. She's in the streets yakking like she was 12. Honey is 27, argues, fights. Selfless in her own right for life. Same cycle. I know women like that right now, pushing 40. Boom, another one.
Hand down, man down. Mama, there goes that man.
They'll let Madams off the hook by saying she did what she had to do. And that is so true. That it's ridiculous, y'all. Again, paralegal by trade. I am not a lawyer. I cannot give you legal advice. I am not holding myself out to be an attorney. But I do want to look at these laws in Georgia because I want y'all to see the definition. So anybody can go on here. If you put in the code OCGA LexisNexis, that's the laws and statutes for Georgia law. So I want to sit up here. I want to define grape real quick before we get out of here. So here goes. Grape, a person commits the offense of grape when he, notice that, y'all, he has carnal knowledge of a female forcibly and against her will, a female who is less than 10 years old. Okay, we get that. But you see the way it's defined. This is why so many of these women get away with this stuff, because it's simply defined as female. This is just here in Georgia. Matter of fact, let me come back over here. Let me see if I can bring myself up real quick, because I do want y'all to see me as I read this. So we're going to come back. Y'all see that again. When they're sticking strictly with the males, making the females a victim. So with so many young men that don't fall in this category when he's 15, 16 years old, might be selling a little bit of dope, might be the tall kid on the basketball team or whatever, getting attention from older women. This is how a lot of these women be slipping through these loopholes. Again, this is Georgia. I'm quite sure it's probably the same in these other states where a lot of these women is escaping. But let's look at this real quick. We got the little definition. Let's look at what the conviction is. A person convicted of the offense of rape shall be punished by death, by imprisonment for life without parole, by imprisonment for life, or by a split sentence that has the term of imprisonment for not less than 25 years, not exceeding life imprisonment, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Now stay with me. This next tab is the statute of limitations. Again, I am not an attorney. I am not holding myself out to be one. I cannot give you legal advice. I cannot interpret the law and do all that different stuff for you. I am not an attorney. But again, this is the Georgia Criminal Code again. You see it. Chapter 3, limitations prosecution, basically statute of limitations. So this is the one, where was I at? Except as otherwise provided, code section. Y'all see that? Prosecution for other crimes punishable by death, which we just read, the rape is one of them, or life imprisonment, shall be commenced within 7 years after the commission of a crime, except as provided by subject D. Might go down to there. Provided, however, that prosecution for the crime of forcible rape shall be commenced within 15 years after the commission of a crime. What year are we on with this documentary? Year what? Next year marks 30. One of the reasons why I asked that question earlier. How long did these potential charges that people are going to talk about linger? But now you're getting ready to throw some men into the court of public opinion. It could still cost him his career, his life, even without jail time. Again, I like to try to give y'all some solid context, some solid information, just something you can actually leave with. I'm big on, as you see at the bottom, I don't just want you to like, sub, and share. I want you to comment and discuss. I want you to leave and have these conversations with your coworkers, with your family, with your friends. Have these arguments. It's important to pick each other's brain. Like Brother Chaotic was saying, either we're going to support the culture or we're not. And I know we all know that fine line of, not even a fine line a lot of time. It's just blatant with the criminality that we have going on in our culture. But a lot of the support comes from our women. When these young men get in trouble, they mamas, aunties, grandmamas bail them out. And I'm not talking, when I say young men, I'm using the term loosely. I'm talking about men in their 20s, 30s, 40s, still getting in trouble with the law. And I'm gonna end on this for all my woke folks out there that say the black woman is God. Who does God take care of? Babies and fools. Who often do we see our women taken care of? Children and men that act like children. Babies and fools. So we have a serious issue going on. And yes, the men that rape and do these type of crimes, they are part of the problem. But you can't support them on one hand and say, oh, he ain't had no daddy in his life. And then on the other hand, you want to try to hold him accountable, but not really. You just want to hold the black men around him accountable. Once again, somebody please make that make sense. Make sure I got everything. Do this housekeeping. I appreciate everybody coming in, rocking with me. Get over to these comments real quick again. Give me one quick second, y'all. Get back to my other screen. Now, the Evil Genius says, very few things anger me than the black woman's response to R. Kelly. I don't want to hear a damn thing about grape culture while Step in the Name of Love is playing in the background. Exactly. And it's still going on, bro. I remember when these rumors started, and I was in 8th grade. Literally, I was in 8th grade. By the time he went to that first trial and everything came out about him pissing on the girl and the video leaked and all that shit, I think I was in 10th, 11th grade. I'm 41. This man just went to jail, only to find out so many other things he was doing. But people kept quiet for years, and that's why I asked the question earlier. What level of accountability do you really want, black folks?
Stop it. Get some help.
What level of accountability do we really want? Because again, you can't force a victim to go tell their side of the story. If they don't want to do it and they just want to let it go, they're going to do that. You can't force it on them. However, for those that may have been a victim, I'm not being insensitive. Please think about the other potential victims that may come after you. Because if he got away with it with you, there's a good chance he got away with it before, and he's going to get away with it after. So please have these conversations, be sensitive to how people feel, what they're going through. I know that word, be sensitive to how people feel, because you didn't experience that rape or that sexual assault. But those out there that have been victims, please share your story and share it as soon as possible, sooner than later. We don't want to be having this conversation 30 years later because a group of women feel like they're going to be embarrassed and they may lose their careers or maybe lose their families, because some of them were probably out there telling their now husband that was their boyfriend back then that they was loyal, and they get caught on some video doing something. Everything after that video was a lie. So some of these men are subject to leave these women. Same thing could be with the women. But I don't want this overhyped black masculinity, as Marclamonthill put it, because masculinity has nothing to do with grape, Marclamonthill. Masculinity are the guys that actually protect these women and try to fight for their honor and usually end up getting his fucking head blown off. But nobody bats an eye because he should have minded his business. Y'all know how we move as black folks. Unfortunately, that's some of the shit they first get said. That's why I mind my business. Then on the other hand, black men don't protect black women. Which one you want, y'all? You can't just go around making up shit you want to happen. We got to get a hold of this. I'm big on action. So if we're going to do it, we need to do it strategically, collectively. I know the brothers that I rock with don't agree with any type of rape, sexual assault. Again, a lot of us are fathers and fathers of daughters. Let me get to some of these comments before I dip out of here. Yep, Big Smooth. Yep, I was in 9th grade when the tape got bootlegged and slung on the streets. Before the trial, his dealing with Aaliyah were public record and well documented. Aaliyah was 15. This man was already pushing, what? He was late 20s, 30s, something like that. And again, it's commonplace. Like, people raised hell about this. Even men, dudes been picking up chicks from the high school. Like I said, you wouldn't allow R. Kelly to go around, no shot at Tony, but you wouldn't allow R. Kelly to go around saying, hey, I used to pick up young girls. Let me talk to these students and these parents and, share the information I know about being a child predator. Let me get ready to get up out of here, y'all. As always, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Same thing I leave with y'all on my shorts. Y'all like, share, subscribe, comment, discuss. As always, brothers, you matter. You're not crazy. Make better choices. I appreciate y'all rocking with me on this topic. I'm probably going to circle back on some point of this because it's going to keep coming out. I can see the conversations coming, but this thing with the whole black men being predators thing really pissed me off. And remember what I always say as well.
I built this shit. Me. Brick by brick. And I'll be damned if I let you tear it down just because you don't like the way another nigga talk.
Appreciate y'all rocking with me. This is Kofa, K-O-F-A, not coffee, not kufu, not Kofi. Kofa rhymes with sofa. Growth Talk Podcast, gentlemen reaching our wealth through healing. I appreciate y'all rocking with me tonight. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.